welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting over episode 5 of One Punch Man. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So here we are in City A in the Hero Association HQ, and we're in a sort of boardroom, and they're deciding, I guess, the ranking of various heroes and the certification exam. Notably, they mentioned that Moomin Rider doesn't want to move up to be a B-ranked hero. He wants to stay C rank. Additionally, business sounds good because they've got 22% more applicants in this exam than in the previous one. Of course, they mentioned that the quantity is not necessarily a quantity or a quality of its own, rather. But there is a person of interest attending the exam. In this case, Genos. So it sounds like even the Hero Association doesn't really know about Saitama, interestingly enough. So at the exam, it certainly looks pretty busy. There are all sorts of people here ready to test their mettle to see if they have what it takes to be professional heroes. Most of them look pretty outlandish, like they've shown up wearing costumes and things like that. Saitama, strangely enough, elected to wear a Speedo and nothing else. Of course, his vast physical capability makes his appearance, or rather, makes up for his appearance, which is otherwise pretty silly. You know, there's like a little montage of all the different trials they have, and he's easily trouncing the competition, if not setting all kinds of records. They even have the punching machine like from Dragon Ball Z, which is a nice touch. In fact, Saitama is so just rigorously above the competition that some people just decide to outright quit. So Genos has aced both the written and the physical tests. Genos is confident that really anyone could get full points on the written test, and neither of them should have any problems on the fitness test. So, no surprises, Genos got a perfect 100, which makes him an S-class hero, the highest echelon of hero. So, Genos lets a little something slip. There was an interview for him, but it doesn't appear that there was one for Saitama. So, it kind of makes it apparent that the Hero Association was really interested in Genos and they were kind of sleeping on Saitama. So what they're really interested in is that Genos was able to destroy the House of Evolution basically single-handedly. Now Genos rationalizes this as they didn't feel any need to interview you because you're so obviously a high-caliber hero. But it seems like Saitama bombed the written portion. And so he barely passed and scraped in as a C-class hero. Genos is prepared to complain, but Saitama doesn't want to be embarrassed by that. Now, of course, Saitama doesn't really do himself a lot of favors. You know, that sweatshirt he's wearing, I can see how if you were applying for a job in the sense that trying to become a pro hero is, you know, wearing something like that would be pretty poor taste, I would think. So, interestingly enough, the Hero Association is calling up this dude to see if he approves of Genos immediately being transferred to S-Class. So, he clearly holds some weight with the Hero Association. So, Genos and Saitama are attending this seminar, and the guy giving the speech is really just laying into Saitama about how he got in on a fluke. So this guy's a hero too, and he's trying to be all serious, but Saitama really can't care less. So he's a Class A hero, no less, and he's sort of tacitly threatening Saitama. So we're getting a little background lore on the Hero Association, courtesy of Genos. And the inciting incident that formed the association was when some unknown hero saved the grandchild of a rich person from a monster. And I believe the implication is that it was Saitama saving that kid from the crab monster. So, you know, Saitama's really getting shafted in terms of people recognizing him, seeing as how he's essentially responsible for the formation of the Hero Association in the first place. So the Class A hero from before is sort of crap talking the others. And I guess one of the associates is talking about how, you're wrong about them. They're phenomenal. Genos is utterly impeccable in every way. And Saitama, though he failed the written test, set all kinds of new records in the physical department. So this guy tells Snek that Genos already outranks you, being Class A rank 38, and given his physical prowess, Saitama will probably outrank you before long too. So Snek shows up and confronts Saitama again for what he calls rookie crushing. It goes about as well as one would imagine. Saitama puts him in the ground. So Genos is giving Saitama a little bit more of a rundown on how the Hero Association works with ranks and hero names and all that good stuff. So Saitama expresses the worry that he might have a hero name of something like Caped Baldy. And those worries aren't entirely unfounded, truth be told, given that a lot of hero names appear to be based off of appearance. So, since they both joined the Hero Association, Saitama has had to formally take Genos on as his disciple, and because of that, he is now obligated to train him. So Genos wanted to have a sparring match of sorts where they really go hard at each other, where they both get serious. Genos probably doesn't understand the true weight of that, but he'll find out in pretty short order, that's for sure. And this sequence is one of the better animated sequences in the anime. Just the combat between Genos and Saitama. It's mostly on Genos trying to get a rise out of him as he speeds around the battlefield and fires off these huge cannons at Saitama. It's the smoothness of the animation that's really impressive. Saitama's more worried about getting his clothes burned than anything the cannon might actually do to him. So Saitama is so fast that even with his enhanced senses, Genos can barely keep up with him. So while Genos is going all out, Saitama isn't really taking it seriously, and he's treating it more like a game. Genos even goes far enough to sort of scold him about how he's not taking this seriously. So since Genos is sort of goading him into it, Saitama's actually becoming a little bit serious. And I like the visuals here. The disparity in size that's apparent between them. And just for an instant, Saitama was serious. And if he had carried that punch through, Genos would have been utterly annihilated. Now, this is my favorite part. Like, Genos was plenty stunned by the punch, but then he turns around and sees the giant valley that was carved out by the shockwave, and he realizes, man, Saitama is truly something else. Saitama mistakes his hesitation as him not liking the food he suggested for lunch. That's the one thing I really like about Saitama. Like, he's kind of dense in a relatable, lovable kind of way. Like, he really doesn't think that he's anything remarkable. So, for a change, Genos gets to show his superiority to Saitama by eating what looks like a gallon bucket of super spicy udon. Saitama throws in the towel, but Genos just eats it all like it's nothing. So here we have Amai Mask, the rank 1 from A class. And based on how he was talking to some of the associates at the Hero Association earlier, this guy holds some serious sway. So Saitama warns him that this might be another rookie crusher. But I don't think that's the case here. So Saitama's still under the impression that he came here to crush Genos, but in reality he came here to welcome him to the Hero Association. And as a result of associating with Amai Mask, Genos has sort of begun to establish his own fandom. And already Saitama's definitely jealous about it. So Amai Mask is sort of sharing his philosophy with Genos about how a hero should always be a beautiful symbol of justice. and even more so for S-Class heroes. But Genos is sort of at odds with him. He's really only interested in strength, whereas a MyMask appears to be more about appearances. Of course, he also appears to be tacitly strong, not outright stating it, but hinting at it. Just the way he sort of treats Genos, his overall demeanor, indicates that he's probably just as strong, if not stronger. So after the credits, Genos sort of told Saitama he'd be back. And there was a fundamental misunderstanding here, because Genos meant, I'll be back with all my stuff to live with you. And it takes a hefty sum of cash to convince Saitama to allow that to happen. Alright, well, that's the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one.